Hello, this is Chef Lechner speaking and welcome to this session. Today I will explain to you how to use Visual Basic for application in order to create fast quizzes. Now, this is what I do. I use the quizzes for my flipped classrooms. I would accumulate some questions or some formulas or anything that the students have to learn, and then I create a quiz. The quiz I then upload to Blackboard, and I have the students go through it. Normally when I upload a quiz, I will also promote it. I will also put it up in class, and I will show them how to log on and how to use it, and sometimes even use it right away in class so the students can see how it works, and I encourage them to use it. So this is a formula training quiz that I have uploaded on Blackboard. Here's a little hint. Here I explain to the students how they should use it and where to find the information in the book, and then they can start. So this is what it looks here. This is basically just a little quiz where they can practice the formulas. If the student has the answer wrong, it just tells them right away, I'm sorry, this is incorrect. And in this case, the quiz doesn't move on to the next question. The student has another few options to figure out the right answer. So if the student tries again, and let's say he comes up with that number, in this case it is correct. And here the message box explains to him again how it is spelled out in their understandings and how it is spelled out in the formula book. And of course there's some additional information. Then of course the students, they can click through the questions, they can practice different kind of formulas here, and when they get to the end, then they can either do this again, or they exit whenever they feel like it. Now of course this is a very nice tool. However, it is also very important for me to know, does it work? Does it help? So what I do is I would once in a while go and get a report. Here in this case, particularly that content uses statistics is from that quiz, and it shows here the usage from the students. And here on the 21st, this was a Friday, this is when the test took place, and you can see here it was picking here right 2 days before, so the students did take advantage. It also showed me then which students are actually looking at the quiz, who does the quiz, and then later on when I go and I look, oh God, look at this here, this gentleman here accessed it 10 times, and when I do look at the marks, it was really, it reflected the numbers accessed to the quiz on the test. And many students, they surprised me, and they actually finished up somewhere between 80 or higher. So that was a good thing. That's a good outcome. Of course, there were students that never logged onto it, and they did also well. But anyway, there were students who took advantage of it, and it helped them to do a better test. This was the multiple choice and the true or false question test, and the numbers were pulled from the Scandrum sheet and then compared with those data, with this data here. So anyway, this is just on the side how I use it in the classroom. Then I would like to show you another way. Here there's another nice presentation that I create. You could also use it completely differently. Let's say that you want your students to identify certain items. In my case, it is food items. So if they open up this quiz here identify the spot and upper. Okay, so they go around and say, okay, I recognize it. If the answer is correct, it gives them the answer. Well done, that is correct. If they click OK, they move on right away to the next pasta. Now in this case, the Festonati pasta would be this pasta here, but let's say they have the answer wrong. It would say in this case, sorry, that is incorrect. Then they have some herbs here. They need to identify the coriander. In this case, they identify it correctly. This is great. And then they have to identify the shallots. Well, this here are the shallots, but let's assume they click on here. That is incorrect. And they are really good with the with recognizing or identifying the palm hearts, and they click the correct answer. And then they here at the end. So if they click here, it tells them right away that they had 3 correct out of 5. So this end result here is always a little bit of a spark that encourages them to go back and do better. So anyway, this is a second method. Now everything is powered here with a simple VBA code, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Now I have uploaded all the files that we need for that exercise on the iDrive under departmental HRT and then in the VBA. Now if you're in the VBA folder, you should have the instructions on how to install the VBA developer tab. This is a handout which everyone has received when they attended the class. Then there is the VBA code for the PowerPoint quiz, and then there's the actual VBA training PowerPoint presentation which I have created for everyone to practice on. Now in case that you don't have access to the HRT drive from the iDrive, please don't hesitate to email me, drop me email, and I will send you all 3 files so that you can also follow that exercise. Okay, now let's get started. We go to the VBA folder, and from the VBA folder we open up the VBA training PowerPoint presentation. So this is a presentation that I have created, and it has a few slides in there. So if I go, oops, didn't mean to go here. If you have a look here, so this is what the presentation looks like. This is a preset, and once you have created this presentation, all we do is now we are going to apply a Visual Basic code to each of those buttons. Now the first step that we need to do is you need to double check if you have the developer tab installed. Now, just in case that the developer tab is not installed, then this is what you have to do. Now, of course, if you have a Macintosh computer, and for Macintosh computer I don't have the opportunities to show you because I don't have a Macintosh computer. For Mac users, please follow that link here, and that link will show you how the developer tab can be installed on a Macintosh computer running the Microsoft Office 2010. Now, for those ones who have a PC, please follow that step, and if you have the handout, you can also follow the handout, and it is nicely described in the handout. So what we do here first is we go to File, and then we go all the way down to Options. We click on Options, and then in the PowerPoint option box, we click on Customize Ribbon. We click on that, and then we hover over where it says Main Tabs, and then we go down to the developer. We click on the developer checkbox, make sure there's a check mark in it, and then you click OK. By default, the developer tab is not installed, and that's why we have to do this manually. Okay, now we are going to explore the Visual Basic for Application Editor. We click on the developer tab, and we hover all over to the Visual Basic icon. We click on it. Now we go down, and here where it says the VBA project, we right click, and then we hover down to Insert, and then from the this menu here we select the module. Now here we have just created the module. Now the next step that we do is we are going to copy and paste the VBA code into this module. So for that we need to go to the VBA code for PowerPoint presentation quiz. We click on it, and all it is a notepad file, so you can highlight the entire code. Here we go, and then we copy and paste it into the module. Oops, here we go. So right click and we paste. So this is our VBA code. Now there are only a few things that I want you to make aware of. Here we have a macro called start. Then we have here one at the very bottom that is called the results. As you can see, there's also a little note here that the first code, the start code, always goes on the first slide, and the result one is for the very last slide. Then we also have here a macro that is called correct, and then we have here a macro that is called wrong. Well, that's all you have to know about the VBA code. Now we are going to leave the Visual Basic for Application Editor, and we go back to the PowerPoint presentation by clicking on that icon. Now we have just copy and paste Visual Basic code into that PowerPoint presentation. Now it is very important for you to understand you must go and save it now. Now you go to the file, go to Save As, give your presentation a meaningful name, And then please, it is important that you click right here in this bar, right on the right side where it says Save as Type. You click on it, and then now you select PowerPoint Macro Enabled Presentation. If you fail to save it as such, you will lose everything that you have done. You will not save the VBA codes. Now you click on Save, and now we are ready to connect or to build our quiz. So for that, we go to the Insert tab. We click on the Insert tab, and then we are going to highlight the first box here. This is a little text box, and we are right now in slide 1. And now if you click on that tab here, you have two options. Sometimes when you click on here, you can see here the marching ants, right, as they call them, or the dotted line. I don't want that. What I want is I want to have a clean one. You click on here and you click on the outside right here on the border, so that those lines here are nice and smooth. Now once this is done, now we have access to the action button. You click on it, and then you hover down where it says Run Macro. You click on it. Now look at this here. When we click here on this drop-down menu, here are again those names: correct, result, start, and wrong. So this is our first thing. We start here, so we click here on the start bar, and we say OK. Now what happened? We just connected this box here with that macro that is called start. So our first step is done. Now we go and we move on. We activate the second slide. And now here we have the first true and false question. Smoking in the kitchen is alright if you wash your hands afterwards. Well, we all know that this is false. So again, we click here on the box. We make sure that this has nice smooth borders, and then we go back. Now it's very important. This is the correct answer. So we go to the action box. We go to the macro, and we say correct. It is a correct, the correct answer. And now this here has been connected now with that message box that will show that it is the correct answer. Then we go over here. If someone clicks the true, obviously this is the wrong answer. So therefore we say okay, this is wrong. Oops, it was already there, and we click OK. So this is the correct answer. This is the wrong answer. Now let's try it out. We go here to the presentation of the slideshow. Let's assume the students clicks here on the false, and it shows right here, well done, that's correct. Now let's move back here again. Let's assume the student clicks on true, and it says here, sorry, that's incorrect. So this is how the VBA code works behind the scene, and this is what you can do. Now when we click here, obviously it brings us right to the next slide. However, we are not done yet. We continue now. Stiegl beer is made in Austria. Yes, it is so true. Again, we click here, we activate that box, we go up to the action icon, we go on run, and we say this is correct. Yeah, we like that. Oops. And we say good, and then here of course this is wrong. We go again to the action button, and this is just a repeat. Look at this here, it just goes back and forth. Then we go here. We have here true or false. Singing in the shower lowers your cholesterol, heart rate, and risk of cancer and heart disease. Well, we know that this is wrong. So therefore, we go here. This is false. And remember, this is the correct answer. This is very, very important that we don't make a boo-boo here. It's very easy to make a boo-boo. So again, when the students clicks on here, it should say correct. And here, this is true. This is wrong. It could get quite a little bit confusing. Here, wrong, and here we go. So let's go down here a little bit. We're almost done. We are now here on the next one. True or false? French starts with F and ends with E. That of course is true. And remember, please do not ever design questions like this for your students. This is just a joke, because French does start with an F and ends starts with an E. So therefore this is true. It's a very tricky question, but please don't ever use questions like this when you set up a quiz, right? Because you want to have meaningful thing here, meaningful questions. So here again, this is correct, and this is true, and this one would be wrong. wrong. Okay, this is there. So now the next thing here, there's a good example here on how you can use it for multiple choice questions as well. Who took over when Lennon died? Well, in this case he was Stalin, so this is the correct answer. So in this case we go down here, run the macro, it's correct, done. And all the other three buttons here now, they are of course wrong. So therefore we apply the wrong code to that, the VBA code. Here again, we go wrong. And this, once you have installed all the stuff and you know how that works, it goes rather quick. And remember, you don't have to build a quiz in one day. You can also take your time and you do it over some time. Or once you are quite savvy in it, you can do it within hours. So let's move down here. So this is the last one. So today I learned about VBA, so that would be the correct answer. Again, we go to run macro, it's correct, and of course the other two are wrong. Unfortunately, there is no option to just highlight the wrong ones and then apply the same VBA code at the same time. That unfortunately does not work, not yet at least. So here we go. This is wrong. And now we are here at our very last one, the result. So we click here again, we get this going, and then we go to action. And in this case here, we bring the drop down box. And then here again, it says here the results. So everyone can see this here. We click on the results, and then off we go. So now we have applied the VBA codes to each button. Let's try run that quiz. So we click here on the show, and then we click here. Now smoking in the kitchen, we know this is false, so we click on here. Well, this is correct. And then the Stiegel beer is made in Austria. This is true. We move on. And then singing in the shower, blah blah blah. This we say this is false. Okay, well done. That is correct. Then French starts with an F and ends with an E. This is true. And then we move on to the next one. We have this gentleman here, and then today we learned about VBA. Done. So let's see. When I go now to a result and I click here, it says you have got 6 out of 6. Alright, let's try this again. Let's incorporate a few mistakes, and you gotta try around your presentation a few times to make sure that it works. Now when we click here, the counter is always being set to 0 again, and then we start. So let's assume that we are do this. Sorry, that is incorrect, and Austria is doing okay. We say that's well done. Then this is okay. We say this is true, and then we say French start. So we have 2 correct and 2 incorrect so far. Let's say we click on here, this is wrong, and then we click here, this is right. So we should have 3 out of 6. So this is what the students will see, and again, it sort of should help them to encourage them to try harder and try to achieve a higher score. Anyway, this is what the VBA code does behind the scenes. As you have seen, there's not much that you need to know about the VBA code by itself. All that you need to know is how to open up the developer tab, how to copy and paste it into a module, and then how to assign a macro to a button. Now there is one interesting thing that I would like to show you. The reason why I ask you to use smooth edges rather than the open ones, because you could go in here, and if you highlight a word like this, I'm sorry, let's say we highlight this, and if I go now and I apply now, for instance, the macro where it says results, I click OK, this acts now like a hyperlink. So if I run this show here, so instead of having this here, this one here is highlighted, and this is the word to which I have assigned the VBA code. Of course, you can always do whatever you want. You can set it up in any way you want it. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, so far so good. This is how the VBA code works behind the scenes, and I thought I'd share this with you because it does, in my opinion, once you know how it works, help you to create quizzes, rather quick quizzes or multiple choice questions that you can upload on Blackboard to help your students to study. Well, that's all I have to say. So I hope this is something that you can use. Try it out. Please drop me a line once in a while. I have provided you with my email address. Give me some feedback if you have any questions. I'm trying to help you. And if there's anything that you like to share with me, I'm more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And if you are an experienced VBA programmer and you want to share some of your codes or give me some hints, tips and tricks, I'm always very open for those. Well, thank you very much for watching that demo, and I hope you can apply some of it. Have a nice day and happy teaching. Bye now.